Hi everyone, welcome to today's flow. In this lovely weather, it's such a lovely day out there. We're going to get started straight away in a malasana squat. So bring your feet as wide as your mat, toes pointing out and sink the hips down. Bring the elbows to the insides of the knees, hands together at heart center. And as always with these live online classes, I can't see you, so if something doesn't really work for your body, if anything is painful, please just back off. It might feel nice to take a little sway from side to side, just starting to wake the inner thighs up. And let's switch straight on to our Ujjayi breath. So in and out through the nose. And really think about pressing out with the elbows as you lift the crown of the head. So there's always this two-way energy sensation of pressing the feet down and lifting the crown of the head. Staying here for a few more deep breaths. Make sure you're pressing down with the outer edges of both feet. And release both hands to the mat. And roll yourself over onto all fours. Bring your big toes together to touch. Open your knees nice and wide. Take a child's pose. So forehead comes down towards the mat. Just take a few moments of stillness here. Just noticing what sensations are going on for you in this child's pose. Maybe some of the muscles are already waking up a little bit from our squat. And we're going to come back up onto all fours and step straight back into your malasana squat. So opening the toes out, knees nice and wide, hands together at heart center. Does it feel any different now that you've already taken one, stepped out of it, stepped back in? Try not to hold any attachment, even if your hips are quite up high, your heels are up high. Just working with what's going on for you today. Reach your right hand down towards the floor, open the left arm up. Take a nice easy twist here. Notice where in your body you're breathing, so make sure you're breathing down as far as you can into your stomach. Come back to center for a breath. And we'll move on to the other side. So left fingertips go down, right arm opens up. Bring it back to center. And again, we'll come through to all fours. This time, we're not going to take a child's pose. We're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, drop the stomach, arch the chest forwards, gaze lips. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, chin comes towards the chest. Inhale as you arch, find that opening up. And exhale as you round. Take a few more rounds like this to the speed of your own breath. And maybe add in some other twists or turns here, so incorporating the wrists a little bit. But you need to wake the wrists up as well as the spine, the neck, maybe the hips, sinking the hips back. Just really letting these few moments to be completely intuitive and completely about your own body. Bring yourself to stillness. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet if that feels good. Lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Press hands down and forwards. Just notice what's going on in your down dog today. Does it feel good to have a bend in the knees? Maybe even a little bend in the elbows. How does that feel? Step your right foot, so without lifting up either hand, step your right foot in between your hands. Lift your right arm up, take an easy twist. So keeping the left glute engaged here. Squeeze the left leg as you open through the chest. Place both hands on the mat. Listen carefully, swivel both feet to face the left side of your mat as you sink into your Skandasana. Your right heel can be lifted off the floor, left toes pointing towards the ceiling. If you can, have your left heel down, it just doesn't work for me. You can keep your fingers on the floor or bring your hands together at heart center. From here, keeping the hips as low as you can, we're going to swivel to Skandasana on the other side. So your right toes lift up towards the ceiling this time. Find your balance. Feel free to hold onto the floor at any point. Keeping the hips nice and low, we'll swivel onto the other side just for a breath. Take one more big inhale here. And as you exhale, spin back around, both hands down, downward facing dog. Keeping hands glued to the mat, step your left foot in between your hands. Reach your left arm up, taking that easy twist to really spiral the chest open. Keep breathing, keep feeling the expansion of your stomach, maybe on your thigh as you breathe. Place both hands down on the mat. So we're going to go on the other side, so swiveling both feet to face the right side of your mat. Right toes point up towards the ceiling. Choosing if you keep your hands on the floor or hands together at heart center. Moving slowly, keep the hips nice and low as you swivel your way to Skandasana the other side. Left toes point up. Breathe here. Try not to roll forward, so chest is nice and strong, core is pulled in and up. Again, keeping the hips nice and low, we swivel our way to the other end of the mat. Big breath in. Exhale as you spin your way round to a downward facing dog. Maybe taking a sigh here, maybe noticing how your body's feeling as we start moving. We're going to go through those movements once more, a little bit faster this time. So keeping both hands glued to the floor, step your right foot in between the hands. Inhale as you open up, take that twist. Exhale as you spin your way back down into your Skandasana. Keeping the hips nice and low, we swivel all the way to the other end of the mat. Come back through center. Back to the other end, big breath in. Exhale, spin round, both hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, keep the hands glued, and then inhale, open up to your twist. Exhale, come back down, spin open, Skandasana. Hands together, right toe lifts up. Keeping the hips low, you make your way to the other end of the mat. Again, keeping the hips nice and low, come back to the top. Big breath in. Exhale, both hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Notice if you're on autopilot and if you're at the top of the mat, step to the back of your mat. Let's take a ragdoll here, opposite hand, opposite elbow. Let your head hang heavy. Might feel nice to take a little bounce, a little sway. And release the hands. Inhale, rise up to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. Nice full body stretch. Exhale, fold forwards. Walk your hands back to the top of the mat. Take a downward facing dog. Do that again. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, rise up to standing. Reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Walk your hands back to the top of the mat. Downward facing dog. This time, walk or step your feet to your hands. Inhale, take a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, rise up to standing, reach tall. Exhale as you bow down. Inhale brings you to a flat back. Reach the rib cage forwards. Step back into a high plank. Pausing here. So our focus so far has been really on our hips, our legs, and now we're moving into real core muscles, shoulder muscles. Breathe in. Awareness on the tummy button, pull it in and up towards the spine. Drop your knees, untuck your toes. Move as if in slow motion and keep the core engaged as you bend the elbows, come all the way down onto the mat. Once you reach the mat, peel your chest open for baby cobra. So just starting to weight the back line of the upper body up. Push back through your knees. Push your hips all the way towards your heels, and then straighten your legs, downward facing dog. So we'll take a couple of really slow and mindful sun salutation eggs. One more big breath in. Exhale it all out. Walk, step, or float to your hands. Halfway lift. Use the full extent of your inhale. And as you exhale, you fold forwards. Inhale, rise up to standing. So it's a continuous flow. Allow your breath to reach you all the way to the final moment of your pose. And as you exhale, you start to fold forwards. Again, as your inhale begins, you come to your halfway lift. Crown of the head reaches forwards. As you exhale, step back, drop knees, moving slowly. Use the full extent of the exhale to come all the way down. As soon as you start to inhale, you open the chest cobra. And as you exhale, you push your hips back towards your heels, straighten the legs, downward facing dog. Reconnect with your breath here. And what we're looking for is lengthening the breath as we move. So often we are quite quick to rush through certain poses, especially ones that we don't really like. Just slowing these down just for these few minutes. One more big breath in. As you exhale, either walk or float forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, rise tall. Exhale brings you to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. You can drop your knees, come all the way down, or take your full chaturanga. Inhale, lift you to a cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet to touch behind you and lift your right leg up. Reach your right leg towards the wall behind you, or maybe an imaginary wall behind you. And then bend your right knee, open up your hips. Keep your shoulders square to the front of the room. And then options to stay here, or moving that same slow, almost slow motion as you flip your dog. Press the feet down and lift the hips up. If you have a full wheel here, go ahead and drop your right fingertips towards the floor. Moving slowly, spin your way back into a high plank, feet to touch. Keep moving as you spin your way open, side plank, right hand down, left arm up. You can drop your right knee, or you can even lift your left leg. Staying for 3, for 2, for 1, both hands to the mat. Take a vinyasa or just push straight into your downward facing dog. Feet to touch behind you. Left leg lifts. Again, before we take it any further, think about really reaching the left foot backwards. Keep the upper body really still as you start to bend your left knee and open up the hips. How high can you reach your left knee? And then you choose, either stay here or moving as slowly, almost hovering that left foot off the floor before it touches, flip your dog. Again, options to drop the left hand all the way down to the floor if it's available in your shoulders. Wherever you are, make your way into a high plank and see if you can keep that movement flowing as you spin all the way open to your side plank, left hand down, right arm up. Choose which leg variation you take. For 3, for 2, for 1, both hands down. Either take a vinyasa or just straight to your downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of big clearing breaths in our down dog. So inhale through the nose. Do that again. Soften knees, gaze forwards, lightly as you can, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing. And just make your standing pose. You need to take a breath here too. We're going to look a little bit, we're going to take a little sequence now. If you want to watch me demo at first, but I'm going to take it quite slow, so it might all mean to join in straight away. You're going to start to bend your knees. You can lift your heels off the floor. Bend your knees so that the knees come all the way down onto the mat. Untuck the toes, so the backs of the feet are on the floor. Keeping the sort of hips, core engaged, just start to lean backwards. So it doesn't matter if you just take a really tiny tilt, or if you come quite far back, but you want to feel it in your quads, the front of your thighs. Come back forwards. Tuck the toes under. Sit back, so feet are flat on the floor. You're back in that squat that we started the class with. Your body should remember this. Come up to standing. We're going to do that 2 more times. So, start to come up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, come onto your knees. Tuck toes under, really engage the glutes and the core here as you lean back as far as you can. Come back forwards. Tuck the toes back under. Sit back, find your squats. You can do whatever you want with your arms here just to help you with your balance. Come up to standing. 1 more time. Coming onto your tippy toes. Bend the knees. Move nice and slowly here. So you might be like me, a little bit wobbly, a little bit shaky. Drop the knees down. Tuck the toes. Don't worry about that. And then start to lean back. Just going to your limit. Come back forwards. Tuck the toes. Sit back, squat. Come up to standing. Nice work. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank, or dropping the knees if you need to. Upward facing dog, or it's a cobra. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your right elbow. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your left elbow. And bring your gaze towards the left. Straighten your right leg out. Drop the left leg out, coming into your fallen triangle. You can choose here if you keep that right foot on the floor, or if you try and lift it up. Staying for 3. For 2. For 1, listen carefully here. Place your left hand down. Keep your right knee in towards your chest. And then step that right foot straight in between the hands. Crescent lunge, rise tall. Breathe here. Find a spot to focus your eyes on. And let's take a twist. Hands together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist towards your right. Keep squeezing your left glutes. Inhale back to center. Exhale, warrior 2, open arms. Keep the front knee bending towards the baby toe. Reverse your warrior, go up and go back. Windmill the arms down to the floor. Take a vinyasa or skip it out and step straight to your down dog. Lift your left leg up. Knee to nose. Kick it back. Knee to left elbow. Kick it back. Knee to right elbow. Again, gaze towards your right, this time straighten left leg out. Drop onto the sole of the back foot, fallen triangle. You can choose if you keep your left foot on the floor, or if you try and lift it up. Staying with it for 3. For 2. For 1, listen carefully, both hands down, bend your left knee, keep it in towards your chest as much as you can, and then crescent lunge. Rise up, take a breath, for 2, sink into the pose. Can you stretch that back foot further back a little bit? Can you sink into the front knee a bit more? Hands together, inhale to lengthen, exhale twisting to the left this time. Try to get the thumbs in line with your chest. Keep the upper body strong, lifting as you twist. Come back to center, crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Reverse your warrior on an inhale, and then windmill the arms to the mat. Either take a vinyasa or just straight to your downward facing dog. Big breath in through the nose. And sigh it out. Soften knees, gaze forwards. Jump to your hands. Lift halfway. Fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. And maybe your chair pose feels a little different today. We're working quite a lot into our hips. There are muscles on the insides of the thighs. Weight is right back here, so as if there's a chair behind you that you're really reaching back for, but without sticking your bum up, so you're still curling the tailbone towards the floor. Keep your gaze focused to one spot in front of you, and then lift your right foot off the floor. Bend your left knee and tap your right knee on the back of your left heel. Lift it back up. We're going to do that 2 more times. Tap the back heel. Lift up. Last one. Tapping the left heel. Lift up. Meet back in a chair pose. Keep breathing. Let's go on the other side. Lift your left leg up. Pause here. Tapping the right heel with the left knee. Lift up. Lower down. Lift it up. Last one. Lower down. Lift up. Chair pose. Fold forwards. We're going to take another Malasana squat, so open the feet out nice and wide, toes pointing out, sink down. Really noticing how these squats are feeling as the class progresses. Often when I do them at the beginning of class, things feel a bit tight, a bit uncomfortable. Has anything opened up for you? Or is the opposite happening and they're feeling more and more uncomfortable as we go? We're going to take another twist here with the option of a bind this time. So right hand goes down, left arm opens. You can stay here, or you can reach behind and try and hold onto your fingertips. If your fingertips are miles away from each other, you might want to grab a strap, even sort of holding onto your t-shirts. If you don't have a strap, you can use a tie. A dressing gown cord works pretty well too. Keep breathing. Come back to center, hands together. Let's go on the left. So start with that nice open twist. And then you can choose if that feels good, stay there. Otherwise, come to your bind. And release. Place both hands flat on the floor. Keeping hands and feet where they are, come to a forward fold. Let your head just hang heavy. Might be nice to sigh or flutter the lips here. And inhale, rise up to standing. Eagle pose. Right leg over left. Right arm comes under left. Keep your elbows up in line with your shoulders. And the more you reach your forearms forwards, the more of a sensation you'll have sort of behind your shoulder blades. If this is too much, you can just go for opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Release the pose. Eagle on the left leg over, left arm comes under. Keep sinking the hips down and squeezing the thighs together. Release the pose. We're going to take another eagle on the right leg over left, right arm under left. And keeping your core, so your tummy button is really pulled in and up, start to fold forwards. Maybe bring your elbows all the way down towards your knees. Breathe here. As you slowly start to lift back up, unravel your arms and legs, find a warrior 3. Reach fingertips back. Right heel reaches back too. Shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. Release, come up to standing. Check it out a little bit if you need to. Eagle on the left. Left leg over. Left arm comes under. Again, really find your foundation, so root that right foot down into the mat, and then start to fold forwards. Maybe your elbows come all the way down onto your knees. Pause here, get the lowest spot you can get to. And then as you start lifting up, you move slowly to unravel into your warrior 3, aeroplane. Keep the left toes flex back towards you. Again, navel is pulled in and up. And release both feet down. Again, shake anything out that you might need to. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank, or through the knees if that feels better. Upward facing dog, or it's a cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, open straight out into a warrior 2. So fiddle around with your feet if you need to, really sink into that front knee. Gaze is over your front middle finger. Straighten your front leg, reach forwards and then tilt down into a triangle. So right hand can be on the floor, can be on the shin. It could be outside the foot, inside the foot, whatever works for you. If you have a block or something that you use as a block, you can place that under the right hand too. But think about lifting through the left hand. Press down with the outer edge of the back foot. Inhale, back up to standing. Swivel both feet to face the left side of your mat and bring your hands onto your hips. From here, inhale, open the chest. Exhale, think about leading with the chest as you come to a forward fold. You can release hands down onto the mat or onto your shins if the mat feels a little bit far away. If any of you are working on a tripod, you can make sure that the crown of the head touches the floor. And make sure you can see your fingertips. So your hands aren't in line with your head, they're just a little bit behind. So your hands and the crown of your head are sort of making a triangle. Go ahead and lift up if you can. Otherwise, just staying exactly where you are. If you're up in headstand, make your way back down to your forward fold. Everyone bring your hands back onto your hips. And moving slowly with a straight spine, rise up to standing. Pyramid pose. Front foot spins to 12 o'clock. Back foot steps in and out slightly, so hips are square to the front. Opposite hand to opposite elbow, or if you have reverse namaste, go for that. Again, inhale to open before you exhale to fold. Have your gaze down towards your shin or maybe your right big toe. And awareness on the hips here. It can feel really easy to start tilting a lot here, but try and maybe even with your hands guide your hips. So pushing the right hip back, left hip comes forwards. Inhale back up to standing. Step both feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank. Or skip it out. If you don't feel like doing your vinyasas today, just skip the mats. Exhale, downward facing dog if you are. Step your left foot forwards, opening straight out to your warrior 2. And feel free to make any adjustments here. So if you want to go into the pose a little bit more, step the front foot further forwards, reach fingertips out. Gaze falls over that front middle finger. Find your breath. Straighten the front leg. And try not to lock that knee out. So if you can, a really tiny micro bend. So it's not a proper bend, it's just a softness in your joints. Reach forwards, triangle. You can choose if you have your gaze down towards the floor or maybe up towards the right fingers. Think about opening the chest, almost just like back bend here. Breath is strong. Inhale back up to standing. Turn both feet to face the right side of your mat. I'm going to do it this way around again just so you can see my face. Have the toes slightly pointed in. Interlace your fingers at your sacrum. Inhale, open. Exhale, fold forwards. Keep the hands interlaced and really reach the hands towards the floor as much as you can. Let your head just hang heavy. It might feel nice here to gently sway your head from side to side, shake it yes and no. Release the interlacing of your fingers. And with a straight spine on an inhale, rise up to standing. Pyramid pose. Left foot faces 12 o'clock. Back foot steps in and out slightly so the hips are square to the front. Opposite hand comes to opposite elbow. Inhale, open. Exhale as you fold over that left leg. Again, awareness on the hips. And see if you can keep your toes light on the floor so you're not clinging on with the toes. Inhale back up to standing. Release your hands, step to the top of your mat or wherever you are, feet together. Tree pose, sole of the right foot to the inside of the calf or thigh. Starting with hands together at heart center, find your balance. Options to stay like this if this feels good. Maybe open up the arms. Maybe bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. See if you can stand a little bit taller in this wonderful victorious pose. Tree on the left. Transition at your own pace. And you choose what you do with your hands. It might feel nice to keep them together, or you might open them out. Choose what you want to do with your gaze, maybe even close down the eyes. And if you're feeling wobbly or shaky today, don't take it too seriously. It's a beautiful sunny day. We're just doing yoga at lunchtime. Don't get frustrated if your balance isn't happening today. And release both feet down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it straight into your downward facing dog. Soften knees, gaze forward, lightly jump all the way through to seated and make your way to lying on your back. And lift your feet straight up towards the ceiling and interlace your fingers underneath your head. So head and shoulders are lifted, feet are reaching up towards the ceiling. If you need to have a bend in the knees, go ahead. We're going to pulse up towards our toes for a count of 10. Try and exhale as you lift. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a break. Hug both knees in. Give yourself a squeeze. Maybe a little rock side to side. Maybe a big sigh. Bring your feet into a chair pose position. And again, lift your head and shoulders up off the floor. We're going to take some bicycle kicks. So we'll start by doing these nice and slowly. As you straighten your right leg, you lift your right elbow towards your left knee. Swap sides. So left elbow reaches towards right knee. Left leg straightens. Getting all my lefts and rights confused. So opposite knee to opposite elbow would probably be easier. So we'll go and keep switching. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Make sure you're breathing. 3, 2, 1. And release again. It might feel nice to give your knees a squeeze. Sway from side to side. Place both feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. And press your feet down into the mat as you lift the hips up. Bridge pose. You can choose what you do with your arms. This is just a sort of counter pose, all that crunching, folding forward sensation. Just a little bit of an opening through the front of the thighs, the abs, the the chest. And slowly release, roll the spine back along the mat. Let's take Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet to touch, knees open wide. Might feel nice to close down your eyes here and just let your body feel really heavy. We've worked pretty hard today. Bring knees together to touch and take a happy baby. Grab the outer edges of your feet. And again, a rock might feel nice on the lower back. Grab the underneath of your thighs and take a rock and roll up to seated. Both legs stretched out in front of you. And make sure you're right on your seat bones. If you're quite tight, it might feel nice to sit on a cushion or a block or a blanket, anything you might have just to lift the hips. And then inhale, reach up. So feel that length through the side of the body. And then exhale as you fold forwards. If any of you are like me and you've got the sun in the perfect spot for this pose, enjoy those rays on your body, on your face, if they are touching you. If the hamstrings feel tight, you can bend the knees a little bit. And just think about reaching forwards with the chest. Keep your Ujjayi breath going, even as we slow things down, maybe coming into more familiar territory for some of you. Inhale if you're folding toes. Toes flex back towards you. For some of you, we've worked in those hip areas quite a lot, so you might feel a lot just sitting upright. Stay exactly where you are, close down the eyes and just breathe. For others of you, you might want to start to come to a forward fold, reaching your chest forwards. Let your hands, either you can have your hands on the floor, or reach them out towards your feet, your shins. And wherever you are in this pose, close your eyes. Just taking a couple of deep breaths to really sort of check inwards. Not worrying about what shape you're making, what pose it actually is. Just checking in, how does this feel? What can you do? Is there anything you need to do to make it work a little bit better? And then guide your mind back to your breath. If you're folding forwards, make your way back up to seated. And we're going to take an inversion now. I'm going to do shoulder stand. By all means, go ahead and do any other inversion that you like. If you're feeling a little bit tired, bring your hips up towards the wall and you can just lift your legs straight up the wall. Otherwise, lie on your back, kick your feet over your head for a cow pose. Hands come to lower back and then moving nice and slowly with control, lift the feet up towards the ceiling. Try not to look around the room. So if you're not sure where you're going, take your time and have a look and then come into the pose, keeping the neck safe. Such an energizing effect on your body, getting your feet up high, preparing you for whatever you have in store for your afternoon, the end of your week. And start to release the pose by bending the knees, bringing them down towards the forehead or the ears. Moving as slowly as possible, roll yourself out of the pose. Let your left leg go straight along the mat. Tug your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a nice big squeeze. Maybe let that knee sway a little bit from side to side. Feeling some tension, release, some stretching out after all those Malasana squats. And then when you're ready, let your right knee fall over towards the left. Right arm opens out. Coming into this lovely supine twist. Try and keep both shoulders on the mat. And breathe deeply. Come back through center. Swap legs. And if it felt good, do that same movement. So really hugging the left knee in, maybe opening the left knee out, and then rolling it back in. I feel it quite a lot in my glute when I do this. And when you're ready, let that left knee fall towards the right. Supine twist. Open the left arm out. Come back to center and hug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Bring your forehead up towards your knees and make yourself as small as you can possibly be. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale it out through the mouth. Come to lying flat on your back for Shavasana. Final resting pose. Start to deepen your breath. Bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. And then reach your arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch. Roll onto your right side into a fetal position. And make your way up to a seated or a kneeling position. Hands together at heart center and your eyes closed. Take a moment in stillness here and bring to your mind someone or something that you are grateful for right now. With that thought in your heart, lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center, and together we bow forwards and say, Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me on this absolutely beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed the class. Please let me know any feedback or requests as usual. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day and the Easter weekend. I will be back. I will still be doing my class on Sunday at 10 a.m. Power yoga for 1 hour. So if you feel like moving before you start eating some chocolate eggs, please join me then. Otherwise, I hope to see you soon.